Alright, so today I got teenage boy arrested after five found dead inside home. This is uploaded by Como News, uploaded 17 hours ago and already has over 600,000 views. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
The information that I have right now is it's good. It's general. It's preliminary because this investigation is still in its early stages, even though we're hours into this. The information I give out or have given out could change at any time. We want to update it as possible, but things can change day to day, hour to hour, potentially. So with that, let me tell you what happened this morning. The King County Sheriff's Office received a few phone calls this morning, 911 calls, about some kind of disturbance with gunfire at a residential house behind us, the 7700 block of Lake Alice Road. On the way out here, so deputies from all over the north part of King County came out here from Sammamish, Snoqualmie Pass, as far as Redmond Ridge, all rushed out here at this call. En route, we learned that there was a neighbor who had medical experience who was providing aid to an injured individual, presumably who had been shot but was surviving. When deputies got here, they discovered sort of a chaotic scene. But what they did when they entered the property is they immediately took one young male, teenage male, into custody. They discovered that there was, in fact, one injured teenager. That teenager was given medical attention and was quickly transported to Harborview Medical Center. When deputies entered the residence and property itself, they discovered 5 deceased individuals inside the home. Wow. These included 2 adults and 3 juveniles. I don't have the specific ages of the juveniles, but I think it's fair to say they were young teenagers. Beyond that, I don't know any demographic information on them. Once those bodies were discovered, clearly we understand that this is a hugely significant crime scene, and we started our incident command structure process, where we started determining first of all, we get the scene safe. Second of all, we determine what resources we need, who we're going to call out, how we're going to replace individuals that have other duties throughout the department. And that really started around 6:30 a.m., and we've been doing that ever since. One of the first steps was to call out our King County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit. They're going to be the lead investigators in this case. They'll live with the case from today until it's concluded sometime in the distant future. Along with that task, we called out the State Patrol, the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab Crime Scene Response Team. It was determined that this is a very significant scene with multiple victims, a difficult scene, and we needed the expertise of the State Patrol's Crime Lab to come and really take ownership of the forensic side of this. We do that because it really gives us a opportunity to know who our scientists are going to be as the case moves forward. It also gives our detectives and major crimes unit a little break from having to do the forensic side of it, because we do have other homicide investigations that they're continuing to go out on and that they have in their queues. Let me take a break for a second here. Take a look at a couple notes.
Wow, he would do this person. This is 2 people.
So I wanted to acknowledge that
dead.
Aside from just King County Sheriff's Office folks, deputies coming out to the scene, we were assisted by Issaquah Police Department. They came out and helped us. We had other units come out and assist. So as I talked about our incident command structure, we determined that, well, through our protocols, we're going to call out members of the King County Prosecutor's Office. Through our protocols, we determined that we would be calling the King County Prosecutor's Office to send out one of the prosecuting attorneys. That's very standard for us at a homicide scene. That prosecutor, much like our lead detectives, will stay with the case from today until it's concluded at some point. Besides that, we'll have the King County Medical Examiner's Office bringing out investigators and their doctors. I want to say this real quick
before the video ends. When you go out, right, and you want to kill people, you want to shoot people, and the sloppier you do it, the worse it's going to get for you. But at the same time, notice how he says that these people are living with these cases, right? Like they're eat, sleeping, and breathing these cases, right? So when you're out here and you're doing these things and you're thinking whatever you thinking, maybe you think you're gonna get away with it, maybe you don't. But you're not. You know what I'm saying? Because it's literally people's jobs to not only determine who did it, why they did it, where they did it, what time they did it, you know what I'm saying? Like that's their job. It's their whole livelihood is depending on making sure that they figure out who committed this crime. That's why, criminals and killers and things of that nature, I can't get behind y'all and I can't understand y'all. And I'm talking about senseless killers. Like I can see, you know what I'm saying, like you kill somebody because they did something to you, there's some situations where it's justifiable to kill somebody. Like I said in the Diddy video. Somebody did something like they said they did, or like they say Diddy and them did to that girl. If that would have happened to me, murder. Murder. But I'm doing that knowing that I'm gonna get caught for this. I'm gonna call the cops for myself. Hey, I just killed Diddy. You know what I'm saying? So I hope this dude, whoever got these 5 people dead in the house and all this extra stuff, I hope whoever this person is, he understands. His life is over with.
Get a firsthand opportunity to see the scene themselves. All of these people will be staying with the case throughout its life, so to speak. I want to be clear that what had happened here this morning had essentially concluded before the 911 call was made or before deputies arrived. In other words, there was no significant confrontation with the young man that was taken into custody. What had happened had happened. It was done.
Wow.
There was no... his detention happened without any issues or any injuries. That young man is going to be booked today into the King County Youth Center. For lack of a better term, that's the juvenile jail for King County. And that's where that young man will be. Notifications have been made to family members.
Understand this. It's them youngins that you're going to have to worry about, bro. It's not them old dudes. That's why whenever I see a middle-aged guy or older guy, my alarm system kind of goes off a little bit. But I see a dude that look like me, 18, 19, 17, 16. Really, the younger, the worse. You know what I'm saying? And I'm stereotyping. I see this dude. He like to wear them little shicey masks. He like to, you know what I'm saying, being all black. You know what I'm saying? He like to, got a little something bulging in his hip. Man, bro, I'm stereotyping, bro. I don't want to be nowhere around you because it's not the older dude. I mean, yeah, you got to worry about them too, but it's mostly them young kids that's going to take you out, your family out. That's why if you're going to be a homeowner, you got to have a gun. You got to have something that's going to protect you and your family because you don't want it to be a teenager that wipes your whole family out because y'all in a house with no gun. And this is probably one of those situations. It's probably a burglary gone wrong. And the only person that had the gun was the teenager, the young guy. It's probably a burglary, depending on how the house looks. You know what I'm saying? There was a sign of struggle. Anything that was taken out. It's probably a burglary.
I think by now, most neighbors have figured out that this is a significant event. We are going to be here as an investigative team for days. Absolutely through today, absolutely through tomorrow, and I don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to take as long as it takes, and that's how long we'll keep the scene secure. I think that's kind of it for my presentation, but is there questions, I suppose?
Can you tell us the age of that teen that was taken into custody and if you shared anything about what happened?
I can only say that the young man appears to be school-aged, more like a high school-aged person. I don't want to be wrong if I give you a certain age, but he's a young teen. He's a teenage, mid-teens, yeah.
Mid-teens, so like what, 16, 17?
The number of people who have died and their age ranges, or as best you can.
Sure. So what our deputies discovered in the house was 2 adult individuals and 3 obvious juveniles. I'm not going to say what their roles in life. I can't even say for sure whether this is a parent and children. I just don't know the relationships. They could be any type of relationship. So I'm going to
Kill the
withhold
family, bro.
confirming
There's no
any
way.
relationships, but it does appear to be that this is a family incident.
Yeah.
Clearly a domestic violence incident that involves not only a young man who's now in significant trouble, and it involves firearms, young men and firearms.
So I know the call initially came in as a possible suicide. So did this teen, can we assume, called in to report a possible suicide?
Possible. So he was trying to kill himself?
Yeah, thanks. In fact, I did want to clarify a couple things about the initial call out. I know there's been some word about the way the call came out, and it was described as a potential suicide, or that in fact somebody had committed suicide, potentially by hanging.
Hanging.
As we speak now, several hours later, we've determined that that was a miscommunication, a misunderstanding between the 911 caller and our call taker. The word hiding might have been misconstrued as hanging. And so our deputies did come in thinking we had some sort of a suicidal situation or perhaps a completed suicide. But really, once they got on scene, met with the first witnesses, met with the young men that they ultimately took in custody, and of course found the deceased bodies, it became evident that there was no hanging involved. I'm not going to comment on the specific content of the initial 911 calls because, as you all know, those actually become evidence.
You mentioned the one injured teen, and then also I heard you say firearms.
Sure.
Plural. So could you tell us what you know about the injuries, and then
Sure.
were there multiple firearms?
I know that the person that was transported to the hospital with injuries to at least two parts of their body was a teenager, probably, again, mid-teens. These are not small toddlers. These are not kids in the single digits, as far as I know. I use the term firearms in general. I know that the deaths were perpetrated by firearm. I don't know if there's multiple firearms in the house. I don't know how many were used. That is something that our
So this
major
is
crimes
an
unit
in-house
detectives
situation,
are physically looking at.
and there was a gun in the house. This is another theory that I have. It was a family dispute. The killer was a part of the family. There was a gun in the house. The kid knew where the gun was. Kid got a hold of the gun. And he was probably mad at one person, maybe two people in the family. There's no way he was mad at the entire family, kids and the parents. There's no way he had smoke with the whole family. But he probably hated his dad or like his mom or like maybe one of his brothers. And in order to, and he felt in his juvenile mind, the only way, and I want to know if this is a white family or a black family, but in his juvenile mind, he decided, if I'm going to kill one person, I'm going to kill them all. There's no way he just had smoke with the whole family. He wanted to kill the whole family just off rip. He just wanted to do it. I really feel like he, you know what I'm saying, he only wanted to kill one person, but he just had to
Right
kill
now as we
everybody. He
speak.
felt like he had to
So
kill
can you tell
everybody.
us if the teen that you've taken into custody and the teen that went to the hospital, are they related? Is that a good assumption?
They live in the same house, so I'll be clear.
Yeah.
The young man that was taken in custody and the other teen that was injured and is now at the hospital, they do reside at that same house. I don't know their relationships. I can certainly surmise that maybe they're siblings, but I can't say that right now. I don't know what the relationship was, other than that they reside at the home together.
Upon you taking him, detaining this teen, is there anything that he said that you might be able to share with us?
I can't share anything about what our major crimes detectives said during their interviews, what they learned. I know that they've been doing their job. They would have been interviewing the injured individual. They certainly would have been interviewing what we'll call the juvenile suspect. And the content of those conversations is not appropriate for release right now.
For the three kids, were they boys, girls, and I know you said that there was possible gunshots. For the 5 victims, did they have any gunshot injuries?
Well, I'm not going to speak to the exact cause and manner of death. That'll be something the King County Medical Examiner's Office does. However, we were called out as a gunfire disturbance to begin with. So it's fair to say that that is clearly what we think had happened, but I haven't been inside the crime scene. The investigators are actually just now getting to the crime scene as far as looking at the physical bodies. The King County Medical Examiner's Office isn't here yet, and they probably won't be here for several hours, if not tomorrow. Sometimes we need to leave the evidence where it is, and deceased bodies are quite often evidence. And I know it's tough to say sometimes, but those we might need to do what it takes to keep the evidence in its best condition for the medical examiner to see. And if that's today or tomorrow, they'll be there until we're done examining them.
And sir, are the 3 kids, are they boys, girls?
Thanks. I do not know the makeup of these children other than that they are teenagers, and I don't know their exact ages. I don't know their sexes.
I don't know why they always send the person that doesn't know anything out there to do the interviews and do the talking and the presentation. Like, can't we get one of the first responders to talk? And he's going to have way more information than this guy. Who is this guy? Like, he just updated to everybody. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on now. I'm just like y'all. I got a little bit of information. I got what they told me. Okay, I'm telling y'all what they told me. All right. Like, can we get a first responder up here? Can we get the person that got the 911? Can we get the 911 call? I hate watching these types of videos and these types of interviews. It is these guys on the you know what I'm saying? I'm like, who is this guy? What can you tell us? Like, you're asking this dude all these questions is pointless. So I'm sitting here like, who is this guy?
At least that's something that the detectives haven't released to me yet.
My 2 questions for you, sorry. Can you confirm, so where the tent is behind you, is the house directly to the right of that on the lake there, or down the road farther? And then 2, is there any reason...
He gonna say, I don't know that, I don't even know where the house is at.
So the residence that this happened is a single-family residence. It is on the lakeside down the street. It is just past or right near the tent where they're working right now. I have no reason to think that there's going to be any additional arrests. I do not believe that there's any continued concern of the neighborhood safety or general safety to the public. This incident was a very contained tragedy within a family or within an extended family or the residents here. And as bad as it is, at least it stayed contained within this property.
You may or may not know this, but the school district took it upon themselves to send out an alert to families saying, hey, there has been a tragedy in the city, be aware and talk to your kiddos. But they also went on to say that the children involved were school age, which it sounds like that is true, and that they were homeschooled. Is that something, the homeschooling, can you confirm that, even though you may not know the relationship between the adults and the children?
You don't know.
I think earlier today we talked about, maybe stakeholders is not the right phrase, but there are plenty of concerned individuals and entities when something like this happens all over the country. I certainly don't blame the school district to want to put something out. It's within their right. They may not have all the accurate information. It's something that we wouldn't release yet as far as, the demographics of who these people are, whether they're students here or somewhere else or homeschooled. All those things will be documented within the case reports, but these reports are not going to be completed or available for really months down the road. I'm sure we will be able to give updates as the days go on. I suspect that this briefing right now will be the last one for today. But
yeah, because there's no
by all
more
means,
information.
please ask.
So yeah, he ain't got too much to say, man. But it's a sad situation, man. It's a sad situation. You know what I'm saying? From the information that I'm getting from this video, man, it sounds to me like it was a in-family situation that erupted, and it erupted in a bad way because of the simple fact that children had access to the weapons. You feel me? So if you're gonna have guns in your house, right? You're gonna have kids in your house, right? If you're gonna go about making sure that they don't get their hands on it, and you want to keep that away from them, like if you got young kids in your house and you don't want them, like if you don't want them, that you don't want them to even have access, bro, get a safe that only you have. Get a safe that you gotta put your fingerprint on. You dig what I'm saying? There's plenty of them. Get a safe that you can put your fingerprint on. That's how you get the gun. You get it. You use it when you need to use it. Don't get no safe, or don't leave the gun in a drawer. Don't leave the gun in a shoebox in your closet. You know what I'm saying? Your son done got freaking nosy. Now he all up in your stuff, just searching through your cabinet or whatever. It's Christmas time. He looking for the gifts in the closet. He done open the shoebox with the gun. And, Dad's gun. Now he's taking it to school. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna have a gun in the house, you're gonna have kids in the house, do the proper things to make sure that they're not around them. And if you want them to, learn about guns, teach them. You know what I'm saying? Teach them how to use them. You know what I'm saying? Teach them that it's not these ain't no toys. You know what I'm saying? You pull this trigger at somebody, they ain't gonna come back. You know, they might, but they're gonna be real mad. Okay, they're gonna be real mad. So teach them that, man. And I'm not trying to make a joke about the situation. I'm just, trying to, I guess, make light of the situation because it is a tragic situation. This is a comedy channel. You know what I'm saying? But my condolences to the family and everything like that and everything that happened. We obviously don't know what happened. I have my theories and my speculations, you know what I'm saying, about, because it just came out. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to see what happens as the case goes on. I will be keeping y'all updated with what's going on with this case. And until next time, guys, peace. Anybody want to come to the dark side? Why you want to blame me? I try. No, I can't be fake. I got pride. Strap up if you want to take this ride. Wanna play with the kids, you'll get fried. When I heard you switched, I cried. My love is an ocean that dry. But it is what it is, I'll be fine.